Wells Fargo customers report missing deposits from bank accounts. And to be frank, I don't really understand why people still use Wells Fargo because they have been involved in so many shady things revolving their own customers, like creating like ghost accounts where they just create fake accounts or duplicate accounts of their existing customers and just like operating like they have like a credit card and all that kind of stuff. Like it's disgusting what they do to their customers. So Wells Fargo customers are reporting the disappearance of direct deposits in their accounts. On X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, users complained about their disappearing funds. One bank customer said they saw the news about the problem right as they noticed their deposits weren't in their account. Right before this popped up in the news, I saw that my deposits weren't in my account, their tweet read. I was trying to pay bills and none would go through. This is so unacceptable. The company responded in a statement to CNN that a limited amount of their customers are experiencing the disappearing deposits. They said most of them were resolved and that they would fix the problem soon. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience, the bank statement reads. Like, the thing is, I would not trust Wells Fargo with my money. I wouldn't trust Wells Fargo with $10. I wouldn't trust Wells Fargo with $1. Like, they straight up screw over their own customers over and over and over, right? So let's check this out. Some of their controversies. Wells Fargo settles CFPB allegations for $3.7 billion. This is back in 2022. So Wells Fargo on Tuesday agreed to a $3.7 billion settlement with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to resolve allegations against the banking giant for misapplied loans, wrongfully foreclosed homes, and illegally repossessed vehicles. CFPB said it ordered Wells Fargo to pay $2 billion to customers affected by its policies and $1.7 billion civil penalty for the legal violations. The settlement resolved accusations of wrongdoing before 2020, when Wells Fargo launched corrective actions after the CFPB forced the company into several consent decrees. So Wells Fargo's policies over the years harmed thousands of customers and led to billions of dollars in losses, according to the CFPB. Wells Fargo's rinse-repeat cycle of violating the law has harmed millions of American families, Sharper said in a statement. The $1.7 billion civil penalty will go into federal government's civil penalty fund, which can be used to compensate victims of harmful policies. As part of the agreement, CFPB will terminate a consent decree from 2016 related to student loan servicing and is working on ending a 2018 consent decree related to home mortgages and auto loans, according to Wells Fargo. Let's see, keep scrolling. Let's see right here. So one of the charges against Wells Fargo states that they have denied thousands of people mortgage loan modifications over a 7-year period, which resulted in the wrongful foreclosure of homes. The bank also charged surprise overdraft fees against customers who had enough money to cover an expense, authorized improper fees, and interest in auto loans, sometimes illegally repossessing vehicles, and froze more than 1 million consumer accounts based on false flags of fraudulent activity. Wells Fargo said it has since implemented several changes to the harmful policies as recommended by CFPB. Like, again, if you are going to go, like, do some sort of banking, out of all the banks to choose from, don't go with Wells Fargo, right? So let's do this, right? Top banks in the world. Oh, I'll put it like this in the USA. Let's see. Not the largest. I want to see. Hmm. America's Best Banks in 2023. Okay. By Forbes. Let's see. Hold on. So let's see. Rank 1 is CVB Financial. Interesting. 2 is First Financial Bank Shares. 3 is Enterprise Financial Services. I think this may be the most profitable one, I guess. That's not really what I'm looking for. Top banks in the USA for positive reviews. Let's go with that. Hmm, maybe the best national banks. Let's see. Okay. Nerd wallet rating for all these banks. Let's see. So, Ally. I have heard a lot of good things about Ally, but it's purely an online bank, so that is potentially an option. And apparently, they give a very good interest rate right now. But you could also make like multiple accounts for like free. So, really, I think an Ally bank account would probably make the most sense if you are needing multiple accounts for like no cost, pretty much. Like, let's say that you are running or operating or managing multiple rental properties. I'm thinking Ally Bank is probably a good fit for that, just because you can make multiple accounts for that. Let's see, Charles Schwab Bank. Okay, not too bad. 4.5 out of 5. Chase. I've heard some mixed reviews about Chase. A lot of people like using Chase's like credit cards, but they don't necessarily like using Chase itself. Discover apparently is also very good at usually typically what like their interest rates for banks. SoFi SoFi pretty much just tries to get you into loans. Wells Fargo horrible. I mean, even on this nerd wallet rating, they're at a 3.0 out of 5. Yeah, that ain't good. But again, I would not want to like. Oh wow, you also gotta have a minimum deposit for Wells Fargo. But yeah, again, just never trust Wells Fargo. Like if you're going to do any sort of banking, don't go with Wells Fargo. Another one that you probably shouldn't go with too is probably Bank of America. But the only problem is Bank of America is pretty much everywhere. So you could probably have access to a bank, like a physical location for a bank, pretty much anywhere that you move to, if you were to do Bank of America. So that's also something you got to think about too. But typically, the best banks to really do business with are credit unions. They tend to be a little bit more generous in terms of what they can do for you. Their customer service actually exists, right? You could actually call someone, you could go in there and talk to like a real human being. And like they're part of basically your local community. So they're probably involved in your local community in some shape or form. So I'd probably lean more towards maybe having like a split. So what you could probably do is like have like the majority of your funds, let's say in like your credit union, your local credit union, but also have like a main national bank just so that you could use that pretty much wherever you plan on like traveling or like going on vacation or something like that. Just because you could find one literally everywhere, right? So for example, Bank of America, you could find that pretty much everywhere. So if you need access to a bank, you can. That's probably what I would do. But yeah, stay away from Wells Fargo.